xVash.
Okay.
Yeah. Pilliwinks xVash. They have already started, which is great. 'Cause
Did they?
I wasn't ready. Pilliwinks xVash, and folks, we are live.
Oh, okay.
All right, so we are going into semifinals. This is actually a best of one, and we're coming in halfway. You know, it looks like turn 7 into this first game here.
Yeah, they started off a little bit before we were ready, but that's okay.
Is there any way we can make the next match hold off, or have they already started too, Neil?
The other guys already started.
Oh my God, we're gonna miss main almost all the semis. That's all right.
Well, I mean, they're still gonna play. They're gonna play all their decks and stuff. So
Best of one.
no, so they play all their decks, but it's single event.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
okay. That
So we're
works.
gonna. This is only the first game, so we're gonna get to see a whole bunch. Yeah.
Good stuff. Okay.
So,
Bueno.
So, interestingly enough, so Vash is on the N'Zoth Paladin plan. He's got N'Zoth in hand, he's got Tyrion, and he's got Ragnaros in hand. Pilliwinks, on the other hand, he's on this on that aggro shaman. Decent board, a decent board, and a Doomhammer combo. So he's got like 10 damage in hand, ready to go. If it gets to that, if it comes down to that. He's not going to be able to punch that damage right yet.
It looks like he still has one overload of one left on him currently.
It looks like he's going to actually just go to pressure his opponent down. Sad that Vash actually has Tyrion. Is it lethal? No, it's not. 10-13.
Oh, the Tron.
The Trog just came in.
I was under the impression that the Drog was not sleeping. I thought he had played last turn.
So so right now his opponent is actually okay. So his opponent's still gonna play Tyrion. So it's gonna put the kibosh on the aggression here for just a little bit.
And that's an empty hand too.
It is an empty hand. It's never a good feeling being the aggro player and then staring down Tyrion bordering. Oh, and that is not a draw that you wanted to see.
That's not what you wanted.
Nope.
But he's going to go ahead and take out the Divine Shield, play the Argent Squire, summon a Hero Power.
And let's hope that it's a taunt. It's a taunt. So, it's still going to save off 2 damage, but it's still not great. Forbidden Healing, though, if Vash ever needs to use it, is going to be really, really good. This is at 10 mana, so it's going to dump 10. It's going to heal him for 20 damage. It's a lot of damage to be healed here. It's going to put him back at full, which is basically just Reno.
So he decided to trade both of his 1/1s in for just to make sure the board is clear.
Yeah, and that's actually the smart thing to do here. There's no he doesn't want to potentially leave anything in play that can any spells that Pilliwinks draws could potentially give a good trade.
I think he knows that he has time because there's nothing in his hand, so he's going to be taking this one turn at a time from here on out.
And basically he also wants to get very good value off of Tyrion. I don't even think Tyrion's ever actually going to die here. So he goes for the tap hero power, which is interesting.
He needs cards.
That's a sign of confidence, though, considering that he knows that he can go down on life a little bit. Yeah, it's not exactly lethal. It's really close. But he knows he can go down on life a little bit. He can tap to try to find an answer. Just because he counts up what his opponent's got, and he knows that he probably has enough life to be able to stay alive. And if his opponent had Consecration, it's kind of not a good feeling. But it looks like he may actually just go. So like this turn play
the Fire Lord.
He's gonna play Rag. I think he played Rag here, and then he trades both his guys in to try and just put Rag on an empty board, and then he can. Oh, he's just gonna go.
Just going to go to face.
Okay.
That's lethal.
He's gonna pray for the Rag hit. The Rag doesn't hit.
Yeah. Either way.
Either way, it's lethal.
It would have been.
Yeah. He's gonna try to tap to the thing.
Well.
So he finds. Yeah.
Yep. Great
Not
comeback.
quite. Yeah.
It was looking like he had him on his heels. Ran out of cards. Brian Vash kept board clearing and chose not to go for face every time. Really nice, non-greedy play.
Right, yeah, and Vash's the N'Zoth Paladin is really a control deck, a really heavy control deck. So it wants to do exactly as what Vash did there. He just outvalued his opponent, took control of the board completely, and then just dropped some really big threats at the end. And he didn't. Tyrion didn't die, but if he had died, he would have gotten, or Vash would have gotten him back right away with N'Zoth, which is incredibly devastating to an aggro player. I mean, just playing Tyrion, facing Tyrion in general is just devastating.
Yeah. So we are going into game 2 of our semifinals at the summer qualifier here.
So knowing what decks these guys brought, so Pilliwinks has, I believe he's got a mage deck, and I think he's got
Neil,
Zoo.
do we got stats on that?
He's got Zoo. Pilliwinks has Zoo and a mage. Vash has a mage, and he also has a shaman deck. Okay. So it's kind of like a tempo, like a mid-range shaman, and then a dragon type.
And he just knocked his paladin out of the way, right?
Yeah. So Vash is done with his paladin, can't play it anymore, which is good for Pilliwinks. I mean, that's probably the hardest deck to play against. I think Pilliwinks' other decks can match up well against what Vash has, but it's gonna be it'll be tough, with his comebacks, because the 3 decks that Pilliwinks has. So he has his aggro shaman, he has Zoo, which is kind of more of a potentially aggro focused type deck, and then he also has tempo mage, which is more play a lot of spells, beat down a lot. So that's gonna match up.
Play it my tempo.
Right, exactly. Play at my pace type of deck. So those are going to match up a little bit better against the other 2 decks that Vash has. But Vash's mage deck is really interesting. It's a dragon mage, which you never really ever see all that often.
Yeah. No,
so
actually,
it's really interesting.
For me, someone just a couple weeks into the game, which, by the way, excuse my commentary for not being super in depth. That's why Alan's here, though. But yeah, I've actually haven't seen that yet, so that should be actually pretty cool.
You usually see like the standard tempo mage type decks where it's like Flame Wakers, play lots of spells, play Saran, and then that's it. But yeah, this is a really interesting deck choice there from Vash, and it's been doing pretty well for him. It's really interesting. It's pretty strong.
So we're gonna keep on trying to bring you updates as to where Ember to Ashes can, Ember to Ashes and where Ripperonis is currently at. We'll try and update you guys on that too.
So, and looks like we're gonna be jumping back now. We're gonna jump into the next game.
Game 2, Pilliwinks versus Vash.
So it looks like Vash is bringing in his mage deck, which is interesting. Again, it's a dragon mage, has some really interesting choices in cards like Effigy, Demented Frostcaller, things you don't really ever see. You never really ever see that card played. It's really interesting.
Demented Frostcaller?
Yeah.
It's not becoming meta at all with all the new...
No, unfortunately not. It's
really?
It's one of those things that its effect, like it's basically like Flame Waker. It's just not nearly as good because the freeze is only a temporary measure.
I've noticed it's actually not such a turn 4 card, more like a turn 6 when you have a couple spells backed up.
Exactly. But then on it looks like on Pilliwinks' side, he's playing just Zoo deck. Now he started every round of the bracket with Zoo as his main deck, as first deck 1.
Well, let's look at a background then.
It's a very strong deck to start with because it is very tempo focused and can actually beat out a lot of decks very easily. Now Vash going in with this Blackwing Technicians 3/5 is really, really strong for a lot of. It's hard for particularly for Zoo to deal with right now. So Pilliwinks is just gonna have to flood the board here,
which is what he is doing right now.
Yeah. So I mean, like the best that Vash can do to try and clean this up, make a good trade. He's got a couple spells in hand, Frostbolt and Arcane Missiles. So he's gonna Frostbolt to 3/2, and then use the Arcane Missiles to
try and clean up the others.
Clean up the other ones. Now they are going to spawn 1/1s.
One stays up.
They're going to spawn a 1/1 when they die, but that's not the worst thing in the world, especially considering the Darkshire Councilman actually is it procs.
He's just going to summon 4/1/1s and keep flooding.
Yeah, he's going to keep flooding. So his opponent's really far away from Flame Strike, which is
his only board clear right now.
His only board clear.
And the other two, Fireball and Polymorph, you're not going to use that.
You're not going to really, yeah, exactly. So now playing the 8/8 normally, this is a really good choice. Playing it to a board that he needs to trade his whole board in essentially to be able to deal with. Unfortunately, he doesn't know that Polymorph exists in his opponent's hand. So Polymorph and Fire Blast.
Why didn't he trade the 1/1 and trade a Tentacle? guy instead? Why didn't he trade the Death Rattle one?
He didn't want to trade the Death Rattle one because he wants to be able to utilize the Death Rattle going forward. Like, he wants to keep his Death Rattle around as long as it possibly can, because there's a card in Zoo called Darkshire Councilman. And basically what that says is that when it's in play, whenever you play a minion, it gets +1 attack. It's got 5 health and it's 3 cost, so it's really, really good. So he wants to. So when that dies, it's
You
actually
wanna be able to
it's
have
gonna
another
actually
one.
proc it. It's actually gonna make it gain an attack. So it's really, really powerful. So he is gonna go ahead. Pilliwinks is gonna trade some of the board here into the Twilight. In the Twilight Drake. His board though, Pilliwinks' board is actually kind of bad to Flame Strike, and depending on what he decides to do next turn, it could make it even worse for him.
Yeah, he could be anticipating for the Flame Strike. He does.
I would
know
imagine he
it's-
probably
you know,
is.
Everyone knows Mage on turn 7. It's always a possibility.
Yeah, it's one of those things that he should be. We know Pilliwinks is a player. He's a very good player, so we would expect that he's probably playing around Flame Strike at this point. He's probably just gonna go and trade into the 5/4 and just keep the 3/2 around, just to
Just prep for turn 8.
prep for the turn 8, or go straight ham bony sauce. Does he have lethal here? Oh wait, he actually just has lethal here. 10, 14,
my
19.
gosh.
Yeah, like that's just straight lethal. So he just gets a free kill.
Yep. Well, that's some good calculation right there, and that'll be
Yep,
over.
and that's good. That's good. So, and it's one thing to like, we completely just missed that he had the lethal in his hand.
Big response to end that.
I think he might. I think he drew into the lethal too. I think he
Yeah.
drew,
No, he drew that.
He drew into the lethal. So good on Pilliwinks for recognizing that he actually drew into lethal. He knew his outs and specifically what he could do, and he wasn't focused on exactly, oh, how can I trade effectively and not die to Flame Strike. He just recognized, oh, okay, well, I'm just gonna kill you. I'm just gonna have lethal. So good on him. Jumping right into the next game, they're going at it pretty quick here. So Shaman v Shaman, we got a mirror match. Vash opting to switch up his deck, going into, and he's playing a very interesting deck. He's playing a totem, like a totem evolution deck.
Who?
Vash. Vash is playing a totem evolution deck. So he's playing things like there's a card,
I like
Thunderbluff Valiant.
I like how if you play Magic and you also play Hearthstone, you'll notice stuff like Lightning Bolt. It's
Yeah.
also a Magic card for 1 mana that deals 3 damage.
They take a lot of cues. They take a lot of cues. So Vash's deck is very like mid-rangey. It does a lot of trading with effects like Fire Elemental's effect to clear minions, lightning bolts and stuff like that. But it also utilizes things like Thunderbluff Valiant, which are basically like it's a 5 mana 3/6. When you use your hero power, it gives all your totems attack. And so basically, it can just overwhelm and flood your opponent's board out, so that your opponent can't deal with it.
That's
it's
interesting.
It's really hard to deal with if you can't actually, if you let it live for like 1 or 2 turns, it becomes an incredibly difficult threat to deal with.
So you want to get rid of those the totems and everything as soon as possible.
Yeah, as soon as you can. Now it looks like Pilliwinks is
He's
going to
going
get a
to
good
trade
trade
and
here.
keep both his guys.
Keep the Divine Shields.
Yep.
Or get rid of the Divine Shields, get rid of the Tunnel Shroud. That card's really, really scary if it gets out of hand. It's basically just like it's just like a mana worm essentially. It does the same thing. It gets really out of hand. Ooh.
That is a great value for this turn.
Yeah, that's actually insane. He Flame Tongue Totem plus a very good trade gives Pilliwinks a really good position. Now he is low on cards in hand.
Yep.
Which is
and
really,
he also used Overload last turn.
and he got overloaded last turn. Now Vash on the other hand, Vash is gonna he's gonna make the smart play here and get rid of the Mana Tide Totem and play a 3/4. Now the 3/4 is really hard to deal with like in the early stages of the game. But Shaman having this 4 mana 7/7 is just the most ridiculous thing that they've done for this game. Face is the place though, and we're gonna probably see the 7. Oh boy! So the Flame
that
Tongue
right in between.
right in between, and this is probably a face right here. So this is a 9
I think
damage
he's just
to
probably going to
face.
trade. Oh no,
9 damage
he's
to
going to go
face.
face.
He's gonna try to outrace his opponent here. He has he doesn't have a point. Like he's okay with his opponent trading his Totem Golem into the Flame Tongue. Not the end of the world. He still has a 7/7 in play, but the Hex right here is actually just going to have something to say about it. Goodbye 7/7. See you later. Barely knew ya. And then drops a Taunt Totem. That's actually really good for him right now. So he gets to take control of the board here. Now Tuskar Totemic, we've seen Tuskar Totemic today roll really well. Whenever it gets played, it usually spawns. That's not bad. That's a third best one. So it spawned every time today. It's either spawned Flame Waker Totem or Totem Golem or Flame Tongue Totem. So the plus 2 each to adjacent minions or the 3/4.
Wow.
So it's been really good. Now, even though Vash is low on life, he got to put down the. Yeah, so he got to put down Thunderbluff Valiant. He gets to buff all of his guys, and he gets to make a really good trade. And now he's gonna and then he's gonna Primal Fusion onto the Thunderbluff Valiant to keep it alive more. No,
Maybe.
Taunt.
I don't think.
Ooh, so he's doing it on the biggest, on the healing totem, which is interesting.
I think he's ready to let him go. And
Yeah.
he did know that he would get a +1 at the end of the turn.
So he got his value. He got his value out of the Thunderbluff Valiant, but I don't think Pilliwinks actually comes back from this. Like, he's gonna take 5 here if he trades into the Totem Golem.
He'll probably do Divine Shield and Fireball to the.
He can't Fireball. Or can't Fire Blast. He's out of mana. So he's got to go
yeah.
straight to the face here. Or he's got to go take that out. So now, again, so you're going to see the effects of how ridiculous the Thunderbluff Valiant can be when you just leave it in play. So he'll go Fire Elemental, kill Tuskar Totemic, and then Hero Power, and then beat in the face again. It is or unless he has lethal. Does he have lethal? We had to count that. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So not quite lethal, but he's going to set up a lethal for next turn. His opponent needs to deal with his whole board on an empty hand.
That's another taunt.
Oh,
that is just so
and that's
unfortunate.
the game for sure. Oh wait, no, that's lethal.
He
didn't count the 2 damage from the Thunderbluff Valiant. Yeah, Thunderbluff Valiant is a card, dude. That's really good.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's incredible how if people either undervalue how important he is, or they just burn their removal on the 4 mana 7/7, and they can't deal with the Thunderbluff Valiant, and that just wins them the game.
That was actually a really fun mirror to watch.
Yeah. So the thing that I like about this meta right now, like the tournament style, like all the decks that are out with this new expansion, everything's so diverse. So you can get you can get a mirror match, essentially, like a class mirror, but they're going to be different decks. Like almost different decks.
Not at lower level.
Sure.
Not where I'm at currently.
Alright, so Pilliwinks deciding that he's going to stick with Shaman. And Vash's only option left here is to go back to his Mage. Now the Mage, Vash has a decent starting hand. I think he snap kept everything.
Yeah, he's...
and then also, Pilliwinks also has a very good starter as well. Looking at see what he draws for his turn. So he's going to actually play the Abusive Sergeant to an empty board here, and this is mostly to get value, tempo value. He's going to get pressure on the board early because that's what he wants to do. If his opponent
and then
has
cross
that,
his fingers and hope
and
he doesn't
cross his
have
fingers
Arcane
and hope.
Missile.
Unfortunately, he got Arcane Missile. So now he's going to go Hero Power? Interesting choice. Interesting choice.
I don't know. He may be afraid of the Thunderbolt also. I'm not really sure.
Now, in that passive play actually just gives Vash free reign to play Flame Waker on 3 here, or on 2 with a coin.
Yeah,
so,
and if that lives for free, this could be a really rough game.
Yeah, and he's gonna actually it's gonna live for free. The only option that he's got, the only option that right now, that Pilliwinks has really is.
He's just gonna overload.
I mean, he's gonna have to overload in something. He's either going to. It's really tough. Yeah, I think the spirits are probably the right place because he's gonna have to deal with. So Vash is gonna have to deal with both of them at some point.
Probably right away because he will trade into that guy.
Yeah, so he's gonna do this Frostbolt here. Now it doesn't quite matter. At least one of these has to hit the wolf, and if it doesn't, that's kind of unfortunate.
Well, at the same time, next turn
Flame Tongue Totem.
That'll do it.
Flame Tongue Totem is gonna do the effective trade though, but it does put the wolf at 1. So Fire Blast plus Cult Sorcerer is really good here. Now.
Okay.
The only thing that I'm thinking, so it looks like Pilliwinks is overloaded for 2. Oh no, he's completely over the overload. So
yeah,
3 mana and then a Totem Golem. 3 mana and then a Totem Golem here. The Argent Horse Rider. is really good. And he's going to take out the Cult Sorcerer for free. So
Yeah.
now he's established a solid board.
And the longer he keeps that totem alive, it is well.
Now he
never
drew a
mind.
dragon, or he had a dragon in the opening hand, so he actually has back-to-back Blackwing Sorcerers, which is incredibly good. Like, that's one of the best tempo cards. I think probably doing another Flame Tongue Totem here, and then trading the 2/1 into the 5/4 is the best play that he can make. Or he's just gonna Lava Burst. Okay. He's gonna opt to keep his minions in play.
I completely. Okay.
Yeah, he's gonna opt to keep his
Take the
minions.
damage all to face.
He's gonna opt to keep his minions in play, even though his opponent can and is going to just have another answer, but he doesn't know. He didn't know that. But that's fine though. Like it's still.
Does he play the Man Worm? Yes,
Yeah.
he does.
So the next turn, that's a 7/7. Sweet. Finley Murgleton. Right here, he's probably looking for, the Hunter Hero power just to be able to go way.
Gonna go all to face now.
He can go all to face now, right? So both options here, what he can play are fine. I think the 7/7 is probably his best bet.
I like the switch to start going aggressive the second he drops the 7/7.
Right, and so the reasoning for that, he's getting low on cards. He needs to start dealing damage, and he's getting into the late game where this mage deck is particularly going to have a very strong presence.
And with the drawing 2 cards, he's gonna all of a sudden start to take this late game, and that's not something that Pilliwinks wants right now.
No, he wants to be able to get this down. Like he wants to end this game as quickly as he possibly can. Twilight Drake is unfortunately not going to be too great. It's going to be a really low health because he doesn't have a lot of cards in hand right now.
Ooh, this is looking
Even if he
rough.
draws 2, he's only adding 1 additional card.
All right, that's pretty.
The Blackwing Technician though is going to help quite a bit.
Play that in hero power.
Yeah, Rockbiter Weapon is going to be able to help clear out the Blackwing Technician, but I don't even think he trades here. I think he probably just goes for it. Just puts it all to the face, and he's going to try to ride off the back of this Hunter Hero power. He's going to get his opponent down as low as he possibly can, and then just ride out the hero power to victory.
See
Now,
what work the Rockbiter can do.
It is really interesting. So, the reason why Vash didn't play Alexstrasza, he wants to try and get a little bit more value out of the health that he gains. It's going to be rough if his opponent just happens to. Okay, so he didn't draw like any Doom Hammers or anything.
Yeah, but at this
He needed
point in
to do hammer
time,
to win.
Vash is not worried because of that dragon in his hand.
Yeah, like Vash is 15 is not a long clock by any means. Like it's still a pretty short death if your opponent draws the right card. But that being said, like now is the time that he's perfectly okay with playing it. He knows that his opponent has to draw runner incredibly well, and Vash has a very fast clock now against his opponent. He's basically going to be dealing 15 damage in turn, so he's got him on a 2-turn. So Pilliwinks needs to rip some
And he's
God
just gonna.
mode.
He's probably just gonna polymorph.
Oh
the
wait, does that
7/7.
kill him? Does that kill him? 8, 14.
13, 14, 15. Yeah. That,
So
no,
eight-
that won't
eight's-
kill him.
8, 9, 10.
Oh, Mana Worm was gonna be.
Oh, yeah, this might be
three.
lethal. Hold on, let me see. He fireballs here? No, it's close. No, he didn't fire. Oh.
Actually, if he fireballed, he would have been a 1.
So he could have put his opponent to 1. Yeah, he can't deal with the Alexstrasza, unfortunately, and that's actually just going to seal the game off.
No, he knows that victory is in sight. He kept the fireball just in case.
Yeah, it's really, really tough for the shaman to be able to burst you down that hard with 1 card in hand and only 1 draw coming up. You can burst him down with double Rockbiter plus a Doom Hammer.
That is going to be Vash going on to Grand Finals.
That is.
Yep. Pilliwinks